I'm sure that if you've ever been into one of your local bars, local shops, restaurants, maybe a local hotel, you will have seen one of these. Very ordinary, very plain, stainless steel, nickel-plated call bell, service bell, counter bell, whatever you want to call it, and you'll probably have rung it a few times. And then you will have waited impatiently for service. Now, this is the modern variation, as you can see. We have the very simple little clapper at the bottom, the stand, and the bell, and the push button to activate it. Now, had you been around about 100 to 150 years ago, you will have seen something very different. This is a solid brass call bell from around 1890, 1900 to around 1910. And this, as you can see, it's much more elaborate. It's got a stand, it's got a base, and if you'll notice, the bell is actually mounted at an angle. You can see it slopes downwards slightly to the right. That is deliberate so that when it rings nice and smoothly. If it was slanted the other way towards the hammer, then it wouldn't ring properly. Now you would think, okay, this is pretty ordinary. You have the button at the top, you press down, it rings. Not all bells were like that. In the Victorian era, there were all kinds of shop bells. There was the ordinary push button kind, and then there was this. This is a little bit late, this is a little bit earlier. This is from around 1860, maybe 1870. It has a very nice base, as you can see, with a very nice column spiraling upwards into the bell, and it has a very nice little finial. This is actually brass. The reason it looks like this is because this was originally plated in silver. So how this works is you press the button here and it rings like that. And they can actually get even more elaborate. I do have this one. As you can see, this is very fancy patterned brass base around the bottom. It also has the finial up the top, and in here we have the spring and the clapper. So there we go. And you think, okay, that's got to be it, right? Well, not really, because there is one last type of countertop bell which they used to produce in the Victorian era. If you look in old catalogues, you will see quite a few of these actually. They were not as uncommon as you might imagine. Some were more elaborate, some were more plain, some had, you know, nice heavy marble bases so that they wouldn't tip over when you press the button. But there is one last variation, which is this one. Now you might think, well, how does this work? If I press the button, nothing happens. Obviously there's no side strike mechanism, so what do you do with it? You grab the knob and you turn it. That's how this one works. And inside here, this bell is pretty old. This is, you know, I don't know, 1870, 1880, somewhere around there, possibly even older. Inside here there is a spring mechanism connected to the knob, and when you turn it, it rings the bell. And this was originally like these two over here. This one was originally plated brass, plated in nickel. You can see some of that down here. You can see where it's white and then it's yellow down here, and you can see it here as well. You can see the white and then you can see the yellow of the nickel and the brass together. And anyway, these are my 4 Victorian counterbells, and I just thought I'd make a short video about them just to show them to you. I'll ring them all one last time, just to let you hear them again. This one's a little finicky. Not sure why it is, but it is. Oh, there we go. Just gotta... This bell keeps moving around, so that's why it keeps interfering with the clapper inside, and it dulls the sound a bit. But, you know, it's 130 years old. I mean, give it a break. And then, last of all, we have this. It's a big difference, isn't it? From this to this, and that to this. Well, thank you for watching. If you want to see more of the stuff that I collect and more of the stuff that I write about, then please visit my blog. The link is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching.